Dyson V8 Fluffy on today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to unbox this Dyson V8 Fluffy. So the Fluffy is the package, the V8 is the actual model. As you've probably seen, they have a V10 and a V11 and I think even a V12 now. So this is a couple years old. I think they've stopped at V6 and V7. So this is basically the lowest end or oldest at least model that they're still selling. I think this thing's been on sale since at least 2018, if not earlier. So it's a few years old, but it's also a lot cheaper than it used to be. I think originally this thing was like $600-700 depending on which attachments you got. Now it's a fraction of that. I paid $26.80 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 325 USD, give or take. Actually not too bad, less than the Panasonic that I bought that's already broken. So I thought, let's try for something fancier. I always consider Dyson a little bit overpriced. The new ones definitely are. This one actually pretty affordable. Let's see how it turns out. As far as this particular bundle, it comes with the vacuum cleaner, the wand, which is like the pole, the soft roller cleaner head, which is good for hardwood floors. As you can see here, I have hardwood in this room and I have tile, so it's great, no wall-to-wall carpet. Comes with the mini motorized head, which I wouldn't want to do an entire room with that thing, but if you're doing inside of a car or you want to, vacuum off some mattresses or something like that, probably pretty good. So it does come with something motorized. Also combination tool, crevice tool, docking station, and charger. And docking station actually kind of important. That's the one thing I really missed on the Panasonic. It kept getting knocked over because there's no way to lock it into something. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, let's open it up. Okay.
Open from here.
Yeah, you gotta cut the tape. Okay, so in the box we've got the instruction manual and warranty information in several languages. Okay, here's our wand. In this particular case, the V8 Fluffy comes in red. That's basically how you can tell the difference between the different bundles, is the color code of the accent colors. Okay, here's the combination tool. As you can see, it has some extendable bristles depending on what you're trying to clean. So here's the crevice tool. I guess you can pretty much figure out where that goes. Okay, and here's the charger, standard British plug. It's 0.6 amps in case you're interested. This is a barrel plug on this end, and this thing can basically go straight into the vacuum if you want, or it can go through that docking station, and I'll try to show you how that works. And yeah, here's the base station. You can store the attachments here, and that plug can basically be fed through the back into here, and it kind of locks in and charges whenever it's stored. So yeah, let's keep going. And here is our roller head. Supposedly this thing is really effective on flat surfaces, so like hardwood floors and tile. Looks good too, at least until you start using it. And yeah, it has a nice U-joint here. And there it is plugged in. And here's the mini motorized head, which as I said, you can use on, maybe car mats and stuff like that. It's about half the width, maybe 60% of the width of the full one. Since we don't have any carpet here, this should probably be good enough for us. And yeah, for some reason it has this too, so depending on the angle you're using it, I guess it can get better suction. Okay, and here's the unit. Looks really nice. It's space age plasticky. They got these little cyclone things in here, which I don't know if that actually makes it any stronger of a vacuum. You might notice this is basically your rechargeable battery right here. It's not detachable in this unit. And so these are basically the same kind of cells you used to see in like a laptop batteries or in like a power tools. Basically the same cell. And in this case, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 in here. There's some charging lights. Here's where the plug goes in. It's basically just a trigger. There's no trigger lock, so it's not just an on-off. That's also the high and low. So on low, this one only has 2 speeds. The newer ones have 3 speeds. But in this case, on low, it's supposed to last about 40 minutes if you're not using the motorized head. Motorized head will drain that, I think, in like 20 minutes. But if you put it in the max, it'll drain the entire battery in something like 7 minutes. So don't expect to just, run that thing very long. And it takes supposedly 5 hours to recharge to full from empty. So yeah, 7 minutes on, 5 hours off. So don't go crazy on that. But if you're only vacuuming like once a day, that's probably plenty fine. And the dirt goes in here, and if you want to release it, there's this red it's actually got a garbage can on there, so you just basically pull that out, and if I get it all the way up, then it pops out. So just put it on top of the... Okay, I gotta put it back. Okay, now close it. So yeah, just put it over the garbage can, pull, release, shake it out. That should probably be fine. Okay, and under here is your filter, and just grab it and pull, and that's what it looks like when it's clean. Probably not nearly as nice after you use it a few times. It's got kind of the seal up here, as you can see, and that's where the air comes in, I guess. Capacity wise, this is half a liter, which should be plenty for like a day or two's use. And since it's so easy to empty, you don't really have an excuse for letting this thing fill up too much. So if you have that much cat hair or whatever that is filling this up every day or multiple times a day, you probably need less cats. So anyway, let's put it all together and give it a whirl. Click it on. Oh, it does turn. And surprisingly, it wasn't really clear from the documentation, all the research I did, but the roller tool actually is motorized. So what's the difference between the roller motorized tool and the motorized head, except for the bristles? They're both motorized, so this one is not called motorized, but it is in fact motorized. A few quick initial impressions. One, because it has the universal joint, it actually swivels down at the bottom, which is different than a lot of other vacuums. For better or for worse, like that's probably better for going around furniture, but it's also a little bit annoying because you have an extra thing to try to keep straight. The noise is actually pretty good. So this is low. Max is loud, but the regular is actually not too bad. Compared to my existing vacuum, this is actually quite quiet. So that's with the brush on. That's with the brush off. How's it work? Too heavy? I have the problem of my helper or my wife being vacuuming on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep in. I think that'll be way less of a problem with this one than it is with our current one, because I can't stand that thing because it's always waking me up. The power head actually is pretty good, aside from the fact that you can actually see it spinning. You can actually feel, especially with the motorized head, I could feel it like sucking down on the wood. So it's... The motorized head, as you can hear, is significantly more noisy. But again, because this is so small, I can't imagine you using it that much, except like if I directly spilled a bunch of flour on the carpet or something like that. That's what it sounds like when it's vacuuming a mattress, by the way. So I can say, especially when you take these attachments off, this is actually pretty light. So if you were just using an attachment and using it by hand, at least for me, it's not too bad. Okay, let's show really quick how this thing goes in the base station too. So this is supposed to be mounted on the wall like this, pointed down, and this guy goes into this kind of hinged part like this. I guess it clicks in and then fits like that. And so yeah, either you put this up high enough so you can still have the wand on the end, or you have to take it all off if you have it kind of low to the ground. And I don't know where the motorized head is supposed to go because you only have two kind of extra attachment points here.
We have 4 heads.
Yeah, we've only got 3 places to keep it. Okay, before we wrap up, last but not least, this trigger is kind of a hair trigger, so it does turn on a lot by accident when you're moving the thing around. That's okay because it means you don't have to pull too hard. That said, I'm sure if you're using this thing for 40 minutes, your trigger finger is going to get kind of tired. There's no lock like you would find on at least an old drill used to be able to lock down the trigger. So in this case, they want you to conserve the batteries by having to manually turn it on exactly when you want to use it. For better or for worse, I guess they figured out that makes the batteries last a lot longer, but it is a little bit annoying, and it's nice with at least a non-rechargeable one to just turn it on and drive it around at your leisure. This one, a little bit more work. So anyway, that's it for our brief intro of the V8 Fluffy with the motorized head bundle. If you guys have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. Okay, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're... Okay, try not to make any noise while I'm talking. Everyone, welcome back to the... So here's the crevice tool, mainly useful for cars, but I can use it in other places in the house. Also good for sword fighting, including all the attachments. So this unit alone is probably, oops. So which means that,
It's like the DNA.
oh yeah, it does look like DNA. Why don't you show it on the camera? What does it look like, Anra?
DNA.
Why don't you turn it? Yeah, it looks like a DNA molecule. This is what my kid learns on YouTube.